They are obviously desperate to find her, but it has been 3 years. Hello, true crimerers. This is the case of Candice Caffas. Viewer discretion is advised. At the time of this case, Candice Caffas, or I'm not sure if it's pronounced Caffas or Caffas, I heard it pronounced 2 different ways on news clips. But when this occurred, Candice was 34 years old and she was living with her family in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Candice has Prader-Willi syndrome, which is described as a rare genetic disorder characterized by insatiable hunger, leading to, in some cases, obesity and other symptoms like low muscle tone, developmental delays, and behavioral issues. Candice is considered someone with special needs, and she did have a caretaker. I believe this is her pictured with her caretaker, but she also, has family and a mom and all that. But on a July day of 2022, Candice vanished into thin air, and she has never been seen since. So the last sighting of Candice is that she was seen near the railroad tracks at State Game Lands number 213 along Route 285. And from what I can tell, it's right on the border of Pennsylvania and Ohio. They are fairly confident that Candice had her ID card on her and roughly $13 in cash. I believe this is the road where Candice was last seen. After she was reported missing, a lot of people got involved in the search for her. But it's believed she was seen along that path between 5:30 a.m. and 5:45 a.m. on July 16, 2022. At the time she was seen, it doesn't sound like anyone thought she was in any kind of danger. She wasn't with anyone, not to my knowledge at least. And this is something, I guess Candice had done this before, where she had left the house kind of unannounced. But she's always either back home or she is found within a very, very short period of time. But this time, that's not the case. It is July of 2025. As a matter of fact, it's July 15th. I am filming this essentially 3 years to the day of when she vanished. Candice is considered endangered missing. She does require special care and medications, and she is described as being at risk. Especially now that it's been 3 years, it's one of those things where it's like, where could she have gone on her own? First, when she was reported missing by her family, police were getting tips. They were getting a lot of people calling in. Like I said, they had not only police searching, but they had family and volunteers searching for her. And this isn't like a couple of people. This is a ton of people who have contributed to the search for Candice. But unfortunately, to this day, their search efforts have been fruitless. They haven't found anything, not even clothing or her ID card, nothing. Like I was saying, all these tips that were kind of very front-loaded, meaning they got all these tips and stuff at the very beginning of this case, but those tips and leads began to dwindle down to nothing. But Candice's family is not giving up. They have continued their own search for her. And the police will, investigate any tip or any lead they get. This is a fairly strange case because, she's not someone who ran into the wrong crowd. She didn't get mixed up in anything, bad. She didn't have enemies or anything like that. So it's kind of like, what on earth happened to her? Could she have met with foul play, or could she have fallen somewhere? I mean, they've searched really thoroughly and they haven't found any trace of her. Could maybe someone have struck her with their vehicle as she was walking down that road? And instead of calling police and an ambulance, they panicked and did something awful. I don't know, it could be anything could have happened to her. Her family just wants to know what that thing is that happened to her. And most importantly, they want to bring her home, hopefully safe and alive. Someone somewhere out there has got to know the truth about what happened to Candice, especially if foul play was involved. And perhaps that someone who knows something is you. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Candice Caffas or what may have happened to her on that July day in 2022, you can report information anonymously, and you can call 814-332-6911. If you can help bring Candice home, please do so.